Hello, everyone that's out there. I'm sure we're probably going to get some different people, but as you know, this is kind of a question and answer, but probably more than anything, it's a let's read people, but re-engage. As you know, this is kind of a question and answer. Little audio feedback. All right, question and answer on kind of stump Ettore or whatever. But we also have Racenstien, J.Racenstein here. And we also have a window cleaning company. We'll introduce everybody here in a second just to kind of talk about different things and just the nature and the state of what's going on in the economy, the world, and all of it. We just felt like this was a good venue to get out there and let everybody know that we're still here. Racenstien's still here. Window cleaners are still cleaning windows, and what can we do to help each other? Because that's kind of what, as you'll find out through the course of this introduction thing that we're doing, that's kind of what we're here for. Is one of the reasons we teamed up here with J.Racenstein was just the longevity of our relationship. That it's, within any industry, you have companies that interact with each other and deal with it on a day-to-day basis, and suppliers that supply and distributors that distribute. In this industry, we've J.Racenstein and Ettore have had a relationship now for 86 years. And although nobody on this call or on this forum has been there 86 years, but the relationships are all still there. And so you have the backbone and the backing of the products, and you have the distributor that knows that if something goes wrong, they know where we live, we know each other's kids, we know this isn't just a business relationship, it's a family. And you hear that a lot, but in this industry, in the window cleaning business, you guys all know it's a small group of people that are dedicated and driven, and we are a family, and we're here to try to work with that. So we're going to try to answer some questions. I'm going to let Doug run with kind of his intro. So why don't you kind of take it from there with Racenstien?
Doug at J.Racenstein. Hopefully most of you know me, but if not, this is who I am. I'm actually a sales manager with J.Racenstein. You'll probably call and I'll pick up the phone occasionally, but we're here to support you in your endeavor with the proper products and the proper backing and the proper support to make your endeavor go strong. We care about you. Anybody can sell products, but if you can't support those products, then you're just another distributor. We're more than that. That's why our partnership with Ettore has been so strong. Really, seriously. Our catalogs, if you pick it up, if you just take a look, and you can see that we've been there. We've been together as a team, not us consensually, but since 1936. I mean, that's a long time, 85 years. So, like I said, we're here to support you and try to help you out in the field as much as possible.
Okay. Also joining us on this call is Scott, and I'll let you do your introduction so everybody knows your role and your specific thing here, but why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Scott Ehrenzkranz. I'm located in Houston, Texas, owner of Texas Window Cleaning. I'm third generation business owner. We've been around since 1947. Had relationships with Racenstien since, I believe, our inception, if not soon thereafter, and pretty much the same with Ettore. So Doug Act was nice enough to ask me to join, so here I am.
Yeah. So, and we'll interact a little bit more as this thing goes on. Kind of to start off the thing, we've got a couple of questions that have kind of come through ahead of time. And I'll start with number one, which is funny. We get this question all the time. So what is the proper way to pronounce the name? And I'll let you guys fill that in. No, I'm just kidding. So Ettore it comes from Ettore Stacconi, which was the founder of our company. And you can already tell how we pronounce it. Ettore's daughter actually is here, and we have this dialogue quite often on this. A lot of people are like, okay, it's Ettore, it's Ettore. We've been called a lot of things. But it's a first name, an Italian name. So if you have an Italian accent, it would be Ettore. I'm not Italian, so that's not how we say it. Diane Smolik, who's Ettore's daughter, basically calls him Ettore. So at least around the business, we are Ettore. That's who we are. We'll answer to anything, but that's the correct way the family pronounces the name. So
That is not what Doug told me. Doug, I need you to pronounce it.
I've always said Ettore.
You-
But it's always, so a lot of people goes, because I get into a lot of guys that are in Brooklyn, a lot of Italian guys will call up and say, I need some Ettore. And I'm like, okay. Like I said, I don't care what they call it, because it all spells the same way. It's just how they pronounce it.
yeah, right. So, and you're right. They do. We get this. This question comes up like almost every time we have an interaction with customers. What's the proper way? And it's a family name, and that's the way they called it. And this is an Italian family. So, who am I to argue with the actual family of Ettore? So I'm going to stick with Ettore. That's basically what's there. Second question on the list: the shine process of the brass or stainless steel squeegee. So when we do it here, when we manufacture them, we actually put it through basically it's this huge vat of stainless steel marbles it's a vibration thing with chemicals in there that literally polishes the brass, and it's coated at that particular time. But as you all know, brass tarnishes, and so if you want to make it as shiny and as brand new, like any sort of polish, they make brass polish. Obviously, you can use car rubbing compound, even just a good abrasive kind of cleaner, even something like Comet or something like that would actually polish it out as well. But the brass tarnishes, basically, it just kind of turns green, and you just need to remove that particular coating. Stainless steel, kind of the same thing. That actually diffuses a little bit less. That's part of that. Go through the next question here. Does someone really touch every blade of rubber? Again, that's a question that we get a lot, because that we have that. Yes, every single blade, and we do 6 million feet of rubber a year, and that's actually 18 inches at a time. That's basically there, and then it's cut from there. And we literally have a team of people that are trained on how to look for the imperfections in the rubber that are part of that. Now, both of you guys, Scott and Doug, have been here to see that. So I don't know if you want to chime in, because obviously you guys would expect me to tell you that, but you guys have seen us do it. So any comments from you guys?
It's impressive. It's true. One of those things you don't really believe until you see it, and then you see it, and it's great system you guys have there. I mean, the blemishes that the lady feels, each rubber, I was not able to figure out where the nick was or whatever she's able to find. So
yeah, right, and some of that, and it's actually kind of a fun thing. And we don't reject much of it, but there are, in any manufacturing process, there are blemishes. And when it comes to squeegee rubber, you can't have a blemish or you get a streak, and you don't basically have that. And Scott, I know you have Doug was mentioning, a story that you had where you tried to hide somebody else's rubber by, doing whatever, and had some feedback. So it's probably a good time to get that particular story in there.
Yeah, so I was just placing an order of rubbers with Doug one day. This was probably like 2 years ago. And then he, when reading back, he said, you want Ettore, right? I didn't know there was other options except for, Sorbo for wide channels or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, here, there's other options. What are they? Well, XYZ company is using this with, good results. You want me to send you some? Sure. Being an old school shop, we don't really change up the ways of doing things or buy different products. So I hid the new rubbers in the Ettore box, and yeah, that didn't last long. My guys were complaining that they were going through rubbers too quickly, and that I need to send these back and get my money back, because they know what it cost, and they were going through rubbers like that when, so it was a good, testament to y'all's quality of rubber.
Well, no, we appreciate that. We also know there are competitors out there, but there is a difference. Sometimes it matters to people, sometimes it doesn't. But when you're doing that, it actually makes a difference. I've been reminded to let all of you guys out there to know, if you have any questions, please submit those questions in the comment sections, and then we'll try to answer them as they come up.
I think a lot of people think that the touching of the rubbers was hype, until you actually see it through the process. And that seeing is believing. But I mean, I always thought, of like, really, there's one person that just inspects all the rubbers. I'm sitting there going, because that's 7 miles of rubber, what you talked about. 7 miles of continuous rubber. Now that's an incredible number. But to think that everybody hand inspect every one of those, I mean, I always thought, there's no way, until I eventually saw it myself and went, God, it's true. Unbelievable. Because she can find things on a rubber, and coming from being a window cleaner, I couldn't find it until I saw the streak on the window. And then I could locate it on the rubber, but I couldn't feel it. I had no idea.
Yeah.
It's truly amazing. The processes you guys go through there for the manufacturing of your handles,
Sure.
the classic. I mean, it's amazing the processes that go through just to produce a squeegee handle that's a simple one piece of brass, if you will.
Yeah.
Totally amazing.
Yeah, when you see the process, it's actually impressive, for what's there. And it just goes to, I know we say this a lot. We've said it on Facebook. We do it in ads. We do different things about the quality of our products. And, and that's basically the difference. It's like, there's no magic really in, manufacturing a squeegee handle, for example, other than the engineering that goes into it or whatever. But we do, just like you said, we go through the process on the rubber, for example, hand inspecting it. That is not the most efficient cost savings way to do that, but we know every blade that goes out is perfect. And if there's anything wrong, that's why we have an unconditional guarantee on it. If it's wrong, if there's something wrong, we'll take care of it. And rare, very rare, but occasionally that happens, and we will replace that rubber, directly. That's definitely got the issue. One other question that's on here: what is the advantage of the plastic containers for the rubber? Two things, really. Prior to that, basically we had it on a cardboard, shrunk wrapped over with plastic, and then, for example, to J.Racenstein, we'd ship you pallets of rubber. You'd throw it on the shelf. You do these things. Occasionally they get dropped or broken. The containers themselves, or I shouldn't say the containers, the plastic. Or you tear it open and hand people pieces of rubber or put it in a box. And the chances of that getting damaged in all that is pretty high. It's not real high, but it's definitely part of it. So that was one of them, is the plastic containers protect the rubber. So when you buy a case of them, you have 12 pieces of rubber in there that are protected. So if you drop it or do anything, it's not going to damage the rubber. The other advantage to it is you actually have a container to put your rubber in. Instead of having these loose things all over your van or your truck or whatever, you actually have a place to put it, and you know where it is, and you can keep track of it, because as we're talking about, the rubber quality is really important, and you want to make sure that it doesn't get damaged.
Way simpler to inventory as well.
Yeah.
Scott knows that. Scott and I were talking the other day, and he placed an order for rubbers and stuff, and he was like, and just at a glance, he said, "Hey, I need 4 grosses of this and 4 grosses of that." And I'm like, okay, and he can just tell that just by viewing. So I thought that was amazing. It helps inventory.
Yeah, no, that's good. Another question we have on here is, can you replace the tips of your extension poles? And by tips, I'm assuming you mean the friction fit click lock thing with the threads on there. And the answer is yes. Those are available at any of the distributors. Obviously, Racenstien has a bunch of them. Believe it or not, you can even call customer service, and if something gets damaged or whatever, we'll actually send you another one. So that's a fairly regular thing. A lot of people actually will, depending on what they're doing, they'll have the tips on the tools that they're using, so they can actually change those out a lot quicker. So you can have multiple tips on different things, so you can put them on the pole and do that sort of thing, and a faster changeover. So a lot of people do that as well. The next question I'm getting on here is Scott or Doug, do you guys have any questions that you hear regularly, or that you've been dying to ask, and put me on the spot on live, internet?
I really don't. I mean, everything we do is pretty upfront one another. So the questions I really don't have anything except what's new.
Yeah.
What haven't we seen yet? What's the new fancy trinket that you all are coming out with that's going to help us window cleaners or fan dusters or vent cleaners or anything in the cleaning world, because we all do more than just clean windows now.
Mm-hmm.
And the day of just cleaning windows, I think, is past. A lot of people are doing more and more and more, whether it's gutter cleaning, ceiling dusting, fan dusting, that kind of thing. Is there anything new, tricks you guys got coming out?
Sure. That actually is a question that came in from Jacob from the Backflip Boys. You know, actually the way they said it was, is there anything new in the works that you can speak of? So I'll do that. And to answer your question, yeah, there, you know, one of the things, as we mentioned earlier in the beginning of this broadcast, you know, Ettere's 86 years old this year. You guys are older than that, actually, and not you personally, but that are part of that. And you know, we kind of laugh. It's like, okay, we could come out with a new handle or a new pole or a new color on our pole or a new, you know, whatever. But at the end of the day, how many squeegee handles do we really need, right? It's you kind of work with that. So with our company, you've already heard part of that. Quality is the issue that we focus on, and our discussion really to anybody that's part of that is we make the best products in the industry of what we have. That doesn't mean there aren't other products out there that may be, you know, like you just said, that may clean some other things that we're not doing a part of. That doesn't mean that, but the products that we manufacture are the best quality products on the market for what they are. And we constantly are going through all of our product lines and looking for ways. We test the market, we test everybody else's products, and make sure that we are the biggest quality. And so a lot of times we do a lot of changes that you don't even know about that are basically part of that. Like, for example, on our poles a couple of years ago, we actually changed all of the materials because we were getting, you know, in freezing cold conditions, like in St. Louis or whatever, in the wintertime, sometimes the plastic cracks. So we didn't tell anybody. We just basically changed the materials that we're using for the plastic so they don't break anymore. That kind of thing. So it's we are the #1 quality product out there, and we make no bones about that. You know, that are part of it, and that's a lot of what our R&D is. You know, that are basically part of that.
Good point on the poles, that using 2 different types of plastic. So when somebody calls me up and say, hey, I just need to change the interlocks on them, I always advise them to change the outer lock too, because there's a wear factor involved with an old part with a new part.
Right.
And the good thing about the professional tools that you sell is they're all rebuildable. From flips on your squeegee handles to your poles being 100% rebuilt, and carrying all those parts at Racenstien, it's easy to fix the equipment, so you're not always having to buy new equipment. We can repair all those things. We don't repair them personally, but we have the parts that you can put them together for.
Sure. Right. Exactly.
It's just a win.
Yeah. And you know, I could go down, you know, the list of all of these, all of the particular products, but that's basically what we do on a regular basis, that are there. And it's actually interesting in that one of the questions that just popped up, are the blue products in retail the same as the professional tools in the gold and black? So, you know, you guys basically have our gold and black line, professional line. The products that you see in retail basically are blue. And so the answer is they are sort of the same. And what I mean by that is in the retail marketplace, I mean, I'll just give you an example. We sell kind of a version of the backflip. It's one size. It has a different washer on there that you wouldn't use in the professional market. It's a little bit less quality. That's part of that. But we also don't have the what do you call it, the clip to remove the channel. It's basically a fixed item. It's fixed. That's part of it. The poles, although the poles, the color's different. They're interlock poles as opposed to outer lock. So you were talking about changing the inner lock or the inner section versus the outer section. On the blue poles that we sell retail, they're interlock poles that the locking mechanism's on the inside. You can't change it at all. And the same thing with the tip. You can't replace the tip where the squeegee goes. Those are fixed on there permanently. So again, the quality is the same, but they're not meant to be, and again, you can use them professionally, that's not a problem, but you can't repair them. And the same thing with
rubbers. You can't fix a pole. If if a little simple locking mechanism. We get this phone call a lot here at Racenstien.
Right.
Hey, we have an Ettore pole. Okay, great. What color is it? Oh, it's blue. Oh, I can't help you. Like, what do you mean? It's kind of a one and done. You spent less money on it. Not that it's not a good pole,
Yeah.
but if you would have spent a little more, we could fix that pole and you could have it for years to come.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, exactly. And it, and so like, for example, the tip, you can replace the tip, the blue tip with a black tip, but you're going to have to drill it. And then you're going to have to get the click lock part. I mean, and if you're willing to do it, that's fine. We do it all the time, but it wasn't made to do that. It was made basically to, and that's exactly the case. So the quality basically is the same, but it's not necessarily meant for the same use that our professional tools are, if that makes any sense. Scott, I don't know if you're there or not.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had a question here to kick off. If anybody has any other questions, keep them going. Scott, do you want to jump in with anything from your side of the fence on some things that you'd like to see?
Well, I do have one question, and I come from the high-rise world, so that's where this is coming from.
Okay.
The quick release with the quick release handle, with the rubber grip, we love it, except for the quick release part, because when this gets wet, it's slippery.
Okay.
Slippery when wet. Was wondering if you guys have or ever will think about making a handle that is actually the screw in for the regular size channel with the rubber grip, so that.
You mean without the quick release?
Yeah, because the quick release is great, but you can easily go like that on accident, and when you're hanging on a building.
Yeah.
You can't see it. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say we do make that.
For the regular size channel.
Yeah, go ahead, Doug. You.
Yeah, it's a stainless handle with a rubber grip. It doesn't have the quick release. It's exactly the same size as the one you're holding in your hand right now, but it doesn't have the quick release, and it's stainless.
Yeah, we also have a brass one as well.
Right.
That's available. That's part of it. Again, it's not the most common, but we do in fact do that. And another trick that was funny when Ettore was here and doing windows, he despised the whole idea of a quick release at all. And so people will go, yeah, you can change the thing, and he would leave the screws just a little bit looser. So then he'd go, you mean like this? And he would just pull the channel out, and it was tight enough where he would work. So a lot of this is it's just kind of getting used to habits and things as you're doing it. But so we do in fact have that. In fact, Scott, I'll send you one. How's that? Just because you do this live.
That'd be great. Sure.
He needs 24, not one.
Yeah, I'm gonna need more than one.
Okay, well, we'll talk offline and figure that out.
I'm just joking.
That's basically there. Scott, you want to? I'll just kind of keep throwing it out. I'm not having any questions at this point, so we kind of can just talk about the business, or what do you see going on in the marketplace at this point? Maybe we can get people to ask questions about that as well.
Jeez.
Sorry, didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, yeah. Doug knows that I love collecting limited edition squeegees. Was wondering if Ettore is ever going to make those or have a limited edition squeegee, because just working with the IWCA, I know every year at our convention, Sorbo has his, and it's a huge hit, and people try to buy them from us afterwards, and we're sold out, or not sold out, but we're out of them.
Sure. Yeah.
So I was just wondering.
That's actually a good question. We have definitely done that many times in the past. We don't have like a schedule of what years we do it. Like we definitely had that on our 80th anniversary. Kind of a special thing in Japan, for example. That's a big thing for them. If you make some strange color that they only get in Japan, like everybody goes nuts over that, kind of a thing. And that's basically there. So we can definitely do that regularly, and it's a limited edition, so we only make a certain amount, and that when they're done, because it's obviously you have to tool up and you do those kinds of things. But we can absolutely do that, and we have in the past. We haven't so much recently, just because of some of the other things. And that was kind of one of the questions, about what's new with Ettore that I never really finished. we have a lot of things actually in the pipeline, most of which are probably on the pure water side. And I'm not going to go too much into the product itself, but, and then this interesting thing happened, I don't know, right around the beginning part of March that kind of derailed a lot of those plans. And Doug, you got it, so that's good.
Yeah.
I was looking for Scott to smile or something, and he didn't. But and at this point, honestly, but I mean, this caught everybody by surprise, and I know that's not a secret to those of you that are out there listening to this. And literally every day we joke. I come into work on a Monday, and you literally look at the computer and go, what's going to happen today? Like, I have no idea. What are we going to get? Orders? Are we going to get? Can we get any products fulfilled? Can we get raw materials? Oh my gosh, this whole section of town's locked down. We can't even get in there. Whatever. And so, literally, for the past, I don't know, 3.5 months, it's been okay. We've got to figure out how to try to make any sense of where this marketplace is going. Because coming out with new products at this point in time when we're not even sure where our customers are is kind of a moot point. And I know, Doug, you and I talked a little bit about that offline.
We did.
It's not that the customers have changed; they're still there, but how they're buying is different. Where they're buying it, they don't come in anymore. We're not allowed to travel, and when you do travel, you can't do what we used to do. The shows and things are different. So we're just literally trying to figure that out this year. So I doubt you're going to see a whole lot of new anything from anybody, or if it is, it's stuff that was kind of already in the pipeline and launching some different things. I don't want to speak for everybody, but I know that's part of it. Maybe towards the end of the year, we'll actually have some of that out. So I have one of your competitors who, I won't mention his name because we're going to do this live with him too, but complimented me on my shirt. So
I don't have any competitors. I don't have any competitors. We're all friends out there.
That's true. We all are friends. We all know who that is. So, so Doug, you got anything you want to throw out there?
Yeah, through all the years of all the different products, I mean, you guys have been outstanding on just replacing anything that might have happened out there. And the important thing to you is give me that item back so I can research it to find out what the problem might have been. It might have been tooling at the time, or it may have just been something minor that, hey, maybe we need to thicken the metal a little bit. But I've always seen the advancements. I mean, you don't publicize it. You guys don't say, hey, look what we did. I mean, that's what we love about you. You just know you just take it to heart. You fix it, you make it better. And so we can supply it to the window cleaners out there. And the feedback is like, these are even better. What did they do? I said, I don't know. I do know about the plastic changes in the pole because I've had long talks with you guys about that. Yeah. And then you finally told me this is what we did. So I knew that. But some of the other things that you guys change out there, and as far as a simple duster for a fan blade, you change those, and now they're way better than they've ever been. But it's just a minor tweak that you guys do, and it's how much you care about the industry and moving everybody forward. That our partnership and everything else that we do together is just outstanding. But I can't believe how much you guys put into your product day in and day out. It's just I've never seen that before on anybody.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We have many meetings regularly where we beat ourselves up over that. Like, why don't we actually tell people that we fix these things? And sometimes we do. We're trying to get better at it. And again, and that's part of it because we've been in this business a long time, and we're not here to generate hype. We're in this for the long run. I mean, we're 80 plus years in this business. We definitely want to be at 100 years, and maybe we'll get to where you guys are someday. But 111, is that what you said?
Yep.
Yeah.
1909 we started doing
right. And and that's basically what what we're doing. And although people do need to know that we're doing some of those things, and we need to do a better job at that. And we talk about that regularly. At least once a month that comes up. It's like we did all these changes. Why haven't we mentioned it? And then sometimes we do it and we do it badly, and we try not to do it, but sometimes that happens.
Yeah, you guys do a lot of, you do most of it. The only time I really get updated a lot on it, because you guys don't really speak behind closed doors, is when you guys will come to one of our open houses at J.Racenstein. And John Becker or yourself will show up and he'll completely go through the product, why it's been designed, and show all the different things that have been changed on it. That's when we really get updated. But like I said, it's not publicized.
Right.
You know, it's just a verbal in the ear. You know, when you went from just the protruded aluminum to ribbing the aluminum for more strength. I mean, fantastic idea. And it did make a heck of a difference. It still does.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, and then what's happening now, of course, is, you know, we have online, social media, web traffic, all the other stuff. Those people tend to find flaws and make them public a little faster than they used to. So that speed of those kinds of things are out there. Now the question we actually had come through here: when did the wings become our logo? And to be honest with you, I have no idea. The president's in the thing. You know when that happened?
Really towards the beginning, not when he first invented it, but I think it was probably in the 50s, because he was a pilot in the war, and he always liked the wings that they gave you when you went on flights and stuff, and what the pilots wore, and he thought it was a cool logo, and that's kind of what drove doing it. So I would have to believe it was somewhere in the 50s.
Okay, I'm not sure if that came across, but somewhere in the 50s, roughly speaking. He just mentioned Ettore was a pilot, and liked when you go into the airplanes. They still do it. They're little plastic ones now, but they used to give wings out. Then there was another discussion about that too that we've used over the years, that, you know, Ettore rubber just changed the industry in the 30s, which is kind of the history of how we came to be, and kind of the comment and where that came from was, if you know, you guys have all used the squeegees, when you get the solution on there and then you take the squeegee across the glass, the rubber floats across the glass like it has wings. That's also kind of a trademark thing that we use. That's part of that, and so that's kind of the history of how that came from. Another question is, any chance of sending products to Brazil? Absolutely. We have some distributors in South America that do now. We don't have any direct distributors. I think the closest one is Colombia, but we actually sell all over the world, and you know, any chance we get. It's when you get into countries that are far away, there's, I mean, international travel, but it's the volume versus the cost versus the customs versus the whatever. It tends to get a little complicated. So we tend to work with locals in the area that we're selling to work through them, as opposed to trying to get our own.
We ship all over the world too, Wayne. So if it's a small order and they don't fulfill the quantity for Ettore, then we'd be more than happy to supply them.
Yeah, good plug. Thanks. I needed to be reminded that you needed to do that. No, it's true. Absolutely, you guys do. Next question on here, which we talked about a little bit, but you know, why is the rubber so good? And I'm not going to tell you how we make the rubber, because you know that's kind of a secret. But it's honestly not as much the rubber, although obviously there is a formula that you need to. So with anything, you know, that's part of it. Even when we're talking about, like, what do you call it, the high reach poles that we have, there's a compromise between rigidity of the pole. You don't want to make it too flexible, but if you make it too stiff, then it becomes really heavy. So you have to make a compromise between the two. It's the same with rubber. You want to make it flexible enough to do what you need it to do, but if it's too flexible, then it gets sticky and it doesn't work right. And if it makes it too stiff, then it shatters across the glass. And so we've spent a lifetime trying to figure out exactly how to get that formula squared away. But more importantly, the rubber is good because of the way we actually prepare it. And we talked about that a little bit earlier with Scott and Doug about inspecting it, the way we cut it. Actually, it's not protruded. It's done. It's basically the process, the way we do it, that makes the rubber as sharp as it is to create that perfect straight line that we have on there.
Wayne, I got to ask you a question, because I get asked this all the time and I don't have an answer for it. Are you ever gonna make a hard or a soft rubber?
No.
Good. Now I have an answer for everybody because I get asked that all the time. Because the hype came out of soft rubber better in the winter, hard rubber better in the summer, the flexibility, blah blah blah. You get that question asked, and I always say I don't think so. They haven't changed their rubber formula since they came onto the scene in '36. So I don't think they're going to change anything. But it's good to have a direct answer for a change.
Yeah, no, that's it. I'll tell you why, because obviously there was a chuckle there. But part of the reason, one, it's not as easy as you think to do that. But more importantly, I mean, you guys know you're a distributor, so you buy product, and we manufacture this and ship this all over the world. So we're going to make a batch of soft rubber. I mean, we're not, but in hypothetically,
Right. Hypothetically,
then we're going to send this all over the place because you guys all order that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you sold it. It's
Sure.
still sitting in your warehouse. It's still sitting whatever. Now it's December, or you got the harder rubber and it's now July. Whatever. That's basically part of that. And we have no control over when you get it. And so the formula that we manufacture, we believe, is the compromise between the best of both. And that's basically the compromise of what our formula is. If you make it too soft, it ends up being, then you have to ask, okay, what rubber do I have, and is it the right season? And you guys all know seasons change fast.
Right.
It could be freezing one day and hot the next day, and then so you have to have 3 different kinds of rubber with you.
Wayne, if you come down to Texas, it's just one season.
Well, we have 2 in California. It's earthquake
That's
and
true.
fire. Those are the 2.
shake and bake.
So I had another question here on the name of Ettore. Kind of talked about that earlier for those that you've been here. But Ettore was the first name. His name was Ettore Stacconi, and you've officially pronounced it as Ettore. So that was we talked about that in kind of our first question. So that was part of it. So
Wayne, I got one more question.
sure.
When I was at the facility, there was I guess at the last room in the tour, you guys were, I think there was a 3D screen printer and all different color channels that you guys were just playing around with.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, were you guys ever planning on making a pink squeegee for October, for Breast Cancer Awareness Month? I know you're not going to do anything new this year, but
Yeah,
I just thought that would be great for.
and actually, I didn't say we were going to do anything new. It's just that's kind of all been kind of shelved a little bit, just because we're trying to adjust. But we have definitely toyed with that idea. Again, you were there. You saw some of the different colors that we have, and some of that is requests from different countries as well. Yeah, you've got one right there. Like we get that a lot from Japan. That's just kind of their culture. They like to have unique things that are specific to the color. We have traditionally tried to stay away, and I'm dancing a little bit, as you can probably tell, but like breast cancer awareness. I don't know, I'll go 9 years ago, that was a big retail trend where you had, pink tools all over the place and all of the things that are going on. And then that went out, and then you had some negative press about, you're just trying to capitalize on people's, whatever. And that can backfire. So we tend to be a little bit conservative on those kinds of things. Not that those aren't important. We all have mothers, wives, and daughters, and even men get breast cancer. So that's not part of it. But we try not to get too much into that kind of a game. We would probably do more of the, what do you call it, special, like
limited edition
product kind of a thing to do that kind of. And then you run into the other thing too, is how much of that do you make? And then if you don't sell it all, then where do you put it and carry it over? And so
really, I mean, the supply and demand, and what you don't know what you would need to make. But yeah, a customer had asked me actually, so
sure,
I'd ask.
And we certainly can, and but that's why we tend to not do that, because
makes sense.
Again, we're not trying to make political statements. We're just trying to make the best tools, and that's not a political statement, but it could be, and some people take it that way. So we have to be a little careful. So let me see here. Can you make the belts for window cleaning that is thinner? Skinnier works better. when bending over is basically what the question is. Sure, we can. You know, we need to obviously look through that. I know we currently are looking at that whole lineup of belt stuff, the holsters and all that sort of thing, because we have a lot of different things, and the sidekick and all the other products that we have. And so when we're doing that, also suppliers of those particular products change too. So we could definitely add that to the list of things that that would help for sure. You know, that's not something that I have on the top 10 list, but we can certainly look at it and see what we can do with it. So that's part of it. So
I think the product, there's one in here that we've been moving quite readily. I'd like to talk about a little bit. It's called the Butterfly. I don't know if you've all seen the Butterfly by Ettore. It's a great product. It's used for indoor cleaning. Actually, he's doing a lot of skylights with them internally. So it's a good product to look into other than buying an internal water-fed pole. It's a great product. It's working really well. We also use that same tool when we're applying an awning sealer to smooth out the awning sealer on top of the awning, because you can just take the pad off, throw it in the washing machine, and use it again tomorrow for window cleaning. So it's been a great useful tool with multi-purposes. It's not a one-and-done tool. So if you're all looking for something to do something with indoor window cleaning like skylights, and you already have the extension poles, very inexpensive to add to your portfolio to be able to clean the interior skylights without having to yank a ladder in and out of the house.
yeah.
So,
No, I know and that was kind of an exclusive thing for you guys. I remember Steve at Racenstien walking through here, and you know, it was kind of an interesting product launch, really. Walked through and happened to see our microfiber mop, and he goes, "What do you do with those?" And we told him, and he said, "Hey, I could do something with that," and then ended up buying a bunch of mops and then turning it into that particular product. So then that actually came into, which just goes back to the original, our relationship together. This is how we work, is, you know, we talk to each other, we meet up frequently, see each other all over the country, and these kinds of things come out of those discussions. And you know, that's been working really well for you. So I got a little note here slipped under the door from the big boss, Diane, Ettore's daughter, that and it's in bold print. So it says, "The wings represent the squeegee flying across the glass, making his job easier. Signed, Diane." So I definitely need to send that out there so I don't get in trouble when I get off this call.
Hello, Diane.
That's pretty fun. Okay. Oh yeah. So here's our last question. I'm being fed some stuff here. Are you guys looking into any zero detail options? Not entirely sure what that means. Okay.
I think they're looking at maybe tapering the end of the squeegee down so there's less on the glass.
Yeah. So like some of the to answer your question, yes, we look into all of those. I mean, obviously we've got some competitors out there that have some unique tools that do that. That, you know, you have, you know, some of those that I'm not going to use the product name, but, you know, that maybe, you know, emulate what a dog does, or I'm trying to do this without using the name. And you know, that do that sort of thing. And we obviously test and look into all of these things that are part of it. And in that particular item, now that I remember what it was, we actually ran into the guy who invented that. And again, without giving away too many details, and it's a pretty interesting guy that created this on his own, and it was developed in Europe, just to let you guys in on that particular thing. And the window sills and the way that worked better for him that did that. And again, we've tested it and we've looked at it, and you know, we may at some point come out with some sort of an option like that when it's a big picture option, but you know, with the right training and using our particular products, they tend to, we don't feel like you really need to at this point, at least in most of the cases. So we haven't actually changed our product mix, because that would require different rubber, different channels, and adding some different things, which is not difficult to do. It's just more complication when you're purchasing and looking at the squeegee rubber.
I think what you really said, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I think that's pretty much what you said.
More or less, yeah, exactly. It's after testing, though. I mean, we
It's
don't
good
want
to be the king.
we don't want to sit here and and be complacent and not look at new ideas, and we do actually do that regularly. We get inventors and all that show us new products and that sort of thing, and we look at all of them that make sense anyway, to take a look at it just to see what's there, and as long as it fits with what we do and we feel like it will work for the window cleaning industry, then we will definitely consider doing that sort of thing. So I think we're kind of wrapping this up at this point. Doug, you want to kind of throw in a last I don't want to say pitch, but
if there's anything out there you guys out that are listening to this are needing help with, maybe you're struggling in a little bit of part of your business. It may be equipment related. It may just be just getting past this thing that's happening throughout the world. I don't like talking about it too much because it just brings me down. We're here to help you support and maybe help pivot a little bit to get you into doing something that you wouldn't have considered doing, whether it's disinfecting or cleaning houses, exterior of homes, something you've never done before to add to your window cleaning business, or some kind of business plan. That's what we do. We do sell all the equipment. We're very proud of that. We've been doing it since 1909. So we're well versed in all that, but we're really here to help you move your endeavor forward. Some people we helped pivot this year, and that was a term that we key phrased there at Racenstien. Steve Blythe came up with it. He says, hey, we're going to use the word pivot. We're going to help these guys get on and move forward and help them get on so they can get back to what they know, which is their window cleaning. So window cleaning is not going away. It may have slowed down, but maybe you need to add a little something extra to help you pivot to get you past these hard times. And Racenstien's here for you. We support Ettore 100%. We've been just, like I said, we're family. It's crazy when we meet up. It's just like, hey, I haven't seen you so long. It's like a family reunion. So, we do support the brand, and they support us. And that's what this is all about. We're all one big family. You think window cleaning is a huge, huge organization. I tell you, it really is not. It is a bunch of tight-knit people all together. Yeah, they're all over the world. But if you looked at window cleaners versus lawn people, we're not even a tenth of what they are. So it's a tight-knit group. We all need to work together and help everybody move forward. And Wayne's helped me move forward. Ettore is one of the best products I could ever speak about. I never have any troubles with qualms of returns or questions asked or anything. And they've always been straight shooters with us and just the best partner we could have right now.
Yeah, I'd echo that with you guys as well. And that's a tribute to the industry in general. We all have a good time and we all like to work with each other, but we're also here to support each other, because you don't have us if you don't have anything if you don't have us, and we don't have anything if we don't have you. It all works together. That's part of that. Scott, I'll give you one as well. There's one comment down here that Texas is hot and hotter. So that goes back to what you had commented on. But you want to throw in a closing pitch there as well, or?
No, I mean, I echo what Doug said and what you said as well. I mean, it's a very small, tight knit group of people that are here for everyone. There's any, just to give an example, the IWCA, we're window cleaners helping window cleaners. Racenstien has supported that since inception. So has Ettore.
Mm-hmm.
So that relationship has just always, I think, I don't know, it's kind of unique.
Yeah.
Manufacturer, supplier, window cleaner, all in it together.
Right. And I think that's why we like the industry as well, because we're friends.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say everybody's friends because that's not true, but I mean, for the most part, we all get along, work with each other, and try to help each other grow their businesses. And that, I mean, what better industry do you have to work with than that? So
that's a fact.
Great.
All right. Any other closing things with that? I think this was a good discussion. There was a lot of questions coming through, and I'd love to see this happen again. I think we can do a lot of good things with this.
I do too. It's positive. To me, it's a little bit motivating. I just enjoy seeing faces. You know,
That's
different faces.
right. Yeah, even if they're digital, at least they're
Yeah,
faces
well,
we can see.
I almost wore a mask today, but I didn't. I thought, nah, that may be overkill. So.
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't have been mocked at all, I don't think, at all.
Yeah, probably not. It's hard to hide something that's beautiful anyway.
That's
but,
true.
you know,
That's
we
true.
try.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. And again, let's get out there and clean some windows.
Thank you, Wayne. Everybody get out there and kick some glass. You all have a great day. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
All right,
Appreciate
take
it.
care.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Scott.